Nobody wants these condos, folks. I'll tell you what I mean and then get into the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending May 15, 2024. There are a ton of condos for sale, more so than we've had in a long, long time. So if you're a condo buyer, lots of choices. That should be a good thing, right? So why are condo buyers having a hard time buying today? I'm working with some condo buyers right now. And just like I said, we have lots of choices. We see condos, but they're having a hard time picking the one that makes sense for them. So let's back up the bus a little bit and think about the condo recent history. For years, going back, a builder would put up a new project for sale. Boom, right away, within days, sometimes hours it seems, most of this building was sold out to investors. Those were the buyers. More than half of the buyers were investors and the other ones were end users. But investors sometimes would buy 50%, 75% of the building right away. The investor mentality is as low as possible as far as price point. To get the price point as low as possible would mean not having certain features, no parking, no locker. To get the price point would mean smaller square footage, but the investors also think, if I have 2 bedrooms, I can get more rent. So smaller square footage, 2 bedrooms instead of 1 bedroom. And the builder catered to that because that's their bread and butter. The investor was the one selling out immediately. And the investor often will also be able to have more money to sometimes buy more than one unit. And it went on for years, and condo prices were going up, and there was a shortage of condos available for sale because the investor that bought a huge percentage of these buildings would put them out on the market for rent, not for sale. So the resale market was tight. Condos, just because of the price point, has always been the entry point to get into the real estate market. The freehold market for many buyers is cost prohibitive as a first-time purchase. So many buyers will buy a condo first to live in as their entry point into the market, just because of price point. Today, a ton of these condos, and there's a lot for sale, a lot of these condos are those investors that bought before that maybe did have them rented out for a while. They're getting rid of their condos. They're dumping them onto the market for sale, not for rent. So there's a ton of inventory. But the buyer is not an investor these days. That investment pool, the buyers that were investors, that pool has dried up. It's the end user that's buying condos today. They want to live in them. They're considering raising their family. Can you imagine raising your family in a condo? What a crazy notion that is, that you can actually raise a family. Well, they do it in many parts of the world. There's no reason why we shouldn't do it here, except the condos for sale, the majority of them, they're not geared for that. They're not geared for a family where you can have a kitchen table, where you can have a seating area to watch TV. It's just too tight. Builders have tried to lower their price point. They've done that by smaller square footage. So they're actually giving you less money, but smaller square footage. It's not conducive to raising a family. It's not conducive, even for a couple many times. What fits their price point, the space just isn't there. The layouts don't work. It just doesn't make sense. And that's why there's lots to choose from, but what's available for sale is not matching what the buyer is looking for, because the buyer today is different than the buyer in the recent past. The majority of buyers today are end users. They want to live in these condos. They want to consider raising a family. It's expensive still. And yeah, builders can, and this is not attacking builders because their costs have gone up. It's not like condos are cheaper and inexpensive to build today versus a few years back. They cost more to build now. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I don't have all the answers, but I'm telling you from personal experience, observation, working with buyers, what's available for sale does not match what the end user buyer is looking for. Now, for sure, there's exceptions in there. I'm talking in generalities here. But that's one of the reasons tons of condos are remaining unsold. They just don't match what the buyer wants. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Comment below, please. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. We'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Everything you need to know about the condo market. We're going to be talking about condos in the city of Toronto, condos across the York region, and condos across Peel region. When you look at it, though, here you have average sold prices going back for 3 months. York region seems to follow what's happening in Toronto, but Peel region, although if we go back further, Peel region condos took a beating. Since, I guess, the last 2 months or so, slowly average prices have been trending up. We'll get into that in more detail. We're going to start off with the city of Toronto. For week ending May 15th, these are condo apartments we're talking about just for the city of Toronto. Sales, 216 condo apartments were sold. I would say sales slowly are trending down. 23 of those 216 sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price is sitting at $757. Prices were trending up. Now I think they're kind of flat, although up and down quite a bit, but overall kind of averaging out a little bit flat. We'll have a look at that in a second. Compared to last year, $757 is 1% lower than where the prices were this time a year ago. The median price is 5% lower. The median price is $639. Now, if we look at the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. If we go back, yes, median and average price were trending up. But if we kind of start middle of April, for average price, does seem kind of flat, maybe just trending up a little bit, but basically flat. The median price seems to be trending down over the last month and a half. 216 were sold, 36% sold at list price or more. To give you I've got arrows here comparing the weeks. The orange, that's current. The blue, that's the same week a year ago. I'm saying sales are down, sales are down, sales are down versus last year. Although the beginning part of the year, we were outselling what we did this time a year ago. But let's look at where we are today, January 1st to May 15th. For 2024, 8,709 sales of of condo apartments. A year ago for the same time period, 9,126. That's 417 fewer condos sold this year. That's a drop of 4.6%. So it's not that big of a, it's not like a huge difference. Now, if we continue this imbalance this year versus last year, well, that percentage is just going to continue to climb and climb and climb, and we're going to have a much larger difference sales year over year. However, currently, right now, year to date, 4.6% fewer sales this year compared to last year. Let's look at listings. Compared to last year, we have 3,619 more listings. That's an increase of 35.3%. So the change in listings is profound compared to the change in sales. 35.3% increase in sales year to date this year versus last year. Tons of condos available for sale, 4,930 active listings. That amount is it's continuing to grow, not starting to grow. Months of inventory, pretty much in a buyer's market category, sitting at 5.3 months of inventory. As months of inventory climbs or stays in a buyer's market, we should see prices coming down. That's one of the characteristics of a buyer's market. Prices tend to come down. Balanced market speaks for itself. Prices are kind of balanced. Seller's market, prices tend to go up. Let's look at Toronto, though, broken down into 9 different sections. All of Toronto sitting at 5.3 months of inventory. Etobicoke does its share bit of condo sales. 30 were sold, 4.1 is the months of inventory. So Etobicoke is outperforming all of Toronto as an average. If we look at High Park, 24 condos were sold, 3.8 is the months of inventory. Scarborough, 5.1 is the months of inventory. Willowdale, so Uptown, actually if we look at Uptown, Midtown, and Downtown, starting with Uptown, 5.2 months of inventory. Midtown, 5.9 months of inventory. Downtown, taking a beating. Downtown is bringing up the average of months, is bringing up months of inventory for the whole city. 56 condos were sold. 7.9 is the months of inventory for downtown Toronto. Very much a buyer's market in downtown Toronto. I said 56 were sold, but active listings, 1,911. 56 were sold, 1,911 are available for sale. Big difference. Lots of choices. York Region, 39 condos were sold. None were at $1 million or more. Average sold price has continuing to fall, now sitting at $669,000. 669 is 3% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 1% higher. Median and average price, pretty close, almost the same. Sales, fewer sales year over year. Percentage is dropping. We're now 23% selling at list price or more. Listings, we have more listings than we were listing a year ago. Active listings is increasing. 4.5 is the months of inventory. Pretty much a balanced market. Here's Peel Region. Peel Region is doing the opposite. When prices were going up, Peel Region, they were coming down. Now that in other areas prices are coming down, Peel Region say, hey, I'm going to go the other way. Well, 49 condos were sold. 2 of those were at 1 million or more. Average sold price over the last month and a half or so seems to be trending up. 628,000 is the new average sold price for week ending May 15th. 628 is 3% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 2% higher. I've been saying that it looks like average prices are trending up. When you look at the dotted line of 4-week moving average, yeah, they're trending up, but not that much. It kind of looks flat or trending up slightly, but I'm also looking at the last couple of weeks, and the 4-week moving average doesn't take that into account as much. 49 were sold, 18% sold at list price or more. That percentage has been trending down. Active listings is trending up. 132 condos were listed, and months of inventory is 3.4, up slightly from the previous week, but pretty much in a balanced market. Here's a quick summary. We're in a balanced market or a buyer's market, depending on which part of the GTA you're shopping in, depending which neighborhood you're shopping in, but most importantly, depending which building you're looking at. that building will have its own market, its own self-contained real estate market universe. That's really what matters the most when you're comparing. It's difficult comparing to different buildings, especially when you're trying to get features and amenities and views, and so one building. Look at that. That's where you figure out your price. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.